What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. We're doing another replay VOD review because he had so many cool games to watch in this tourney. Tends to be what happens when you win a tournament. And right now, a lot of people are just sort of like in prep mode for regionals, so there's not anything like crazy going on right now. So watch some more replay of VODs. Also, happy Valentine's Day. If you're watching one of my videos, you probably don't have Okay, no, I'm just, happy Valentine's Day to all the people out there who do have a Valentine. Yeah, speaking of having Valentines, we got some Heartsteel units on the board right here. That was just freeform. I didn't even have an idea of that. Two out of 3 Heartsteel, so if we do happen to pick up, it would have to be a chosen Heartsteel because we actually, can't find the 3 costs at this point. It's a pretty mediocre opener so far. A lot of pairs, but nothing crazy yet. A lot of these chosen units that we are seeing in our shops are not very good. This KDA Lily, I feel like, is a very infrequent to pick up here. And our Augment's also not amazing here, though Clear Mind and Best Friends are the standouts to me here in this position. Support Cash, also another fantastic augment early game, and yeah, we're just going to pick that up here. And he's going to go for Locket, it looks like. I feel like with the current balancing of support items, it's actually kind of just beneficial to take the ones that are good. As it seems obvious, but oftentimes in TFT there's like a right decision because like X augment, X item is broken. But like right now with support items, I really feel like outside of the like high roll scenario where you get like an early gem from the support cache galaxy, like I feel like generally all of them are pretty good. So he's going to take Locket here. It's going to give him some more frontline. Oh my god, just barely wins that fight. If he had lost that fight, it would have been like a chain slam diff. But he wins the fight here. Now we can pick up Punk Vi, which I have to imagine we're going to buy in this position. Sadly, we don't have a Mosher to get in here, so we're just gonna have to play the best possible unit, which he's gonna say is another Vi, which yeah, I'm absolutely down for. She's getting the benefit of Punk at least. And yeah, this is gonna be our board now. He also slammed the Last Whisper, which I think a lot of people might be like a little bit hesitant on because it is definitely the weaker Sunder. Wait, is it Shred or Sunder? It's Sunder, right, for AD. It's the weaker Sunder item, really. Like, you would definitely prefer to build Evan's Shroud in all cases, but you just can't really afford to do that most of the time. In a spot like this, you have to make Last Whisper. Holy, this is kind of a play here. The double level to get Heartsteel and potentially preserve Streak. Wow. I was like kind of trying to think like, okay, how is he actually gonna fit Heartsteel in here? You'd have to like sell the Vi or something, but you can't sell the Vi. But he just double levels here, maintains Streak, and gets Heartsteel. And what a play. And the idea behind this, I would think, is we can go 3-win here, maybe raise the stakes because our items are on Vi. I mean, we'll see. It's not that worth on 3 Heartsteel, though you can get a decent number of stacks here. With Chain open, if he wants to continue his streak, the standard slam would be Sunfire here, but it doesn't exist. Probably just going to pick up this glove onto the ribbon here. I doubt we're going to make Steadfast Heart here. I guess it wouldn't be like completely blown away. But I mean, it is obviously a good slam in this spot here. Maybe it can continue the streak. I don't know. Would you guys slam Steadfast here? Because it kills your chain, which like you don't care that much about. It could be Sunfire, but it's not the end of the world. But the big thing is it kills the glove, which could be like IE later, could be Hodge later, could be a lot of good stuff. He is going to just make it here, just continue to play for streak. The scary thing is this is a pretty terrifying board. I don't know even with this Steadfast Slam if we win this fight, just because of what this Gnar looks like. Yeah, the Slam does not end up winning us the fight. Maybe it saves us some HP down the line. I don't know. I think I may have like seen that board, seen how strong they were, and decided not to slam. Also, I think my music is so low. Oh, okay. It's just because oh, okay. This shouldn't change the music for you guys, I think. I don't think it matters. Yeah, it all comes through at the same volume for you guys. But I was like, man, I can like barely hear the music, but it should come through at a pretty reasonable sound for you. Maybe even a little loud, honestly. I have it cranked up like one crank. In any case, this is going to be an 80 flex game, of course. We made Last Whisper. We have this Heartsteel opener that can easily transition us into the units that we're going to need later, which are, like we already have the Yone. Dazzler Bard is he's a great chosen, but he just doesn't really make sense in this position. We're going to stick onto this Vi for a while until we find something better, maybe for the entirety of Stage 3. I will be really interested if a replay decides to go for the raise the stakes or not here. You have to scout a bit and like make sure that it is potentially something that you can do, but it's not impossible whatsoever. to go for a raise the stakes here. He gets dropped a full blue buff, which is not bad, and then a belt, which could be guard breaker, could be sunfire. So I mean, pretty happy with these items. Does the blue buff go into Vi here? Because it doesn't really do much on Jinx, and like Vi can help you get a cast off. He's looking at sword here. Is he looking at potentially Stair Axe, just making a full Stair Axe here? I mean, it's a fine slam. He's gonna go blue buff here, and yeah, just make the blue buff Stair Axe. Just slam items. We love slamming items in DFT. Yeah, I mean, I like this a lot, actually. The blue buff is, you know, very obvious, but the Stair Axe is a little bit like a sort of like non-standard item, but it probably won him this fight here, making the Stair Axe. He's gonna win, right? Yeah. So yeah, really, really cool. And so like, I think with the way he's playing, he's probably not going to raise here. Idealism, fantastic augment. Unified, also fantastic augment. Really can't go wrong with either of these. Yeah, the way he's playing, it doesn't really look like he wanted to raise here. And it is only 3 Heartsteel, so the raise is like a bit sketch for sure. The upside would be you could get a pretty decent cash up by the end of the stage. What you would have to do is like sell the Vi is the idea. All your items are on to Vi, so it's actually very easy to just sell her and get rid of your good items and play for loss streak here. But I think replay just says it's way too high risk without the 5 Heartsteel to go for they raise the stakes here. He did end up perfect losing this fight though, so I mean, it would have been a great raise the stakes fight to lose, but obviously he would have like sold his units, taken a lot more damage here. So I think replay, especially in tournament, is just saying I'm gonna play for you know, a lot of HP. I'm 91 HP here. I have a pretty strong board. I'm just going to play for HP, get to level 8 with like a decent amount of extra gold because I'm going to get that double Heartsteel cash out. He got 6 gold earlier, and, you know, hopefully he gets like 9 gold from this next cash out, or maybe a component or something, and, you know, it will be fine. His spot will not be bad whatsoever, and his slams are fantastic, right? The only kind of scary thing is we don't have any heal cut yet, right? We don't have red buff. We'd love to hit a red buff. That would really solve all of our problems. We already have the LW for Sunder, as I was talking about earlier. Could always be a Morello, could always be a Sunfire if we can't pick up the bow here. I would imagine you would take bow if you could, but there is no bow. Second, I would probably look at that belt, but then belt gets taken as well, so he's just going to go for the glove here. It's not a heal cut item, but it is another Hodge component, so not bad. It's also onto this Urgot pair, which he's valuing decently highly, which is interesting. Like, he valued holding Urgot over holding Yone, which was pretty wild to me. He could level here if he wanted to for just the Urgot. He would have to sell the other Urgot to make 30 gold here, but he's not very interested in that. I mean, an Urgot is an Urgot. He could also actually just level for Bruiser here, which would be like a real synergy that he could play on his board. But he's going to opt to level for neither, just saying, I want to make as much gold as possible. I don't really have that much faith in my board to like win these fights, so I'm just going to opt to lose these next 2. Potentially get to 80 stack Heartsteel cash out over the next 2, and then we'll be in a pretty good spot. I can dig it for sure. Holding on to Garen here in case it ends up being a Caitlyn game. You already have the blue buff slammed, which is a bit awkward, but it can always go on to Zed with the Garen, so it's not the end of the world. He's going to opt to level this round because he can make 40 gold this round, though the only downside is it's really interesting. He's still going to echo over the Garen. I mean, I think it's not that reasonable. Like, I don't think you really care about the Garen that much, because aforementioned, like the blue buff, like these are pretty awkward Kate items. You definitely prefer to be able to just play around Ez, and then you can put the blue buff onto Ez. Whereas like if you play around Caitlyn, then it has to be Hodge blue buff Stair Axe onto like a Zed or an Akali or something, and then you're left with just LW on the Caitlyn, which makes your other items a little bit inflexible. There's the 9 gold cash out, like I was talking about, which is going to juice him up enough that he can potentially I mean, it would be a pretty expensive 4-1, but I mean, as we look around the lobby, 80 flex, 80 flex, 80 flex, 80 flex. I think there are 4 other people potentially looking at 80 flex. Maybe some of them end up playing reroll, but it is a little bit scary in this position how contested we are in 80 flex. And these items do not help. Glove, bow. I mean, the bow can be half of red buff, like I was talking about. You obviously can't make a Last Whisper here. You could just make something like a Thief's Gloves here. I mean, that's the only slam that exists. And yeah, I like the Thief's Gloves a good bit. It leaves the bow open for your red buff for your potential Ezreal or Caitlyn. You already have good items for your Zed, for your potential Akali or whatever. I actually like this a good bit. And like potentially we get one more cash out. That'll give us enough items to actually play for the stuff. He gets, ooh, yes, that bow there is so big for him. There's a Zed, which is also huge. Zed pair is nice here as well. Going to continue to roll down here. Not finding a really good forecast chosen yet, but there it is. Heartsteel Ezreal. This is a beautiful roll down. This is everything you could ever ask for. Heartsteel Ezreal here. He has the Misfortune on bench, which I assume we're gonna get in, yep, over the Caitlyn here. Get the Jazz in here. The only downside is our front line is kind of a joke, but we get to play 5 Heartsteel. We're 62 HP here, 5 Heartsteel with a pretty nasty board. And he's gonna Hodge onto the Ezreal. I think this is something that I saw. Did we see Replay do this in the last VOD? He actually like really values the Hodge Ezreal and just like the healing onto Ezreal. I think a lot of people actually value, or even just like the stats. Oh my god, that's good. But yeah, a lot of people really value healing onto Ezreal. I would imagine we're gonna get Zac in here over this. Yep, I mean, seems very, very good. It's 2 synergies for Jazz, and it's also, you know, just I mean, it's EDM for your Zed, which is pretty nice. He has to end up. Wait, this is so weird that he opted to make the Hodge onto Ezreal. I mean, healing, this is so interesting, his priority on healing on Ezreal. But I was looking at the stats in this comp, and something like Harm Assist has like really good stats in this comp. And like obviously it's good onto Zed, but maybe the idea is that healing onto Ezreal is like pretty good. Also, Hodge is just a solid damage item. But yeah, it's so interesting actually that he opts to put the Hodge onto Ezreal, which means he's stuck with not red buff Ezreal, but red buff onto Misfortune, which means like, you know, like she's not gonna be able to spread it as well as Ezreal would be because he gets to ult and hit the entire board, and also he gets to cast a lot more and just like jump around and hit extra units. MF of course gets the bounce with her ability so that she can like hit backline with it a little bit. But yeah, that's so interesting. I think I've just been thinking about itemization a little bit wrong in this comp, because there's no world where I would have ever put this Hodge on this Ezreal. But I mean, I think the stats actually like buy it, like prove it out. What is the word I'm thinking for? Like bail it out? Not bail it out. Something like that. And like, I mean, it looks good here. He's gonna get another cash out here. TG cashed out here. DG's actually not very good here. He would definitely have preferred just like some components so he could get items on Zed, or just some gold so that he could push 9. The TG's like low-key one of the worst cash outs you could actually get here, which is pretty funny because it usually is one of the best ones. Because yeah, he's gonna have to TG Bard now, which, hey, we got a Hodge Renons on. I mean, honestly, it rolled Hodge for the Hodge augment idealism. So honestly, kind of sick. We're gonna end up finally losing a fight to the Farmer here, who's got a pretty decent RE board, also has a York onto the board with good items. But I mean, honestly, good Heartsteel loss. We take those, make these upgrades here, and yeah, we are hard chilling on our way to 9 here. Our entire board's upgraded. Another cool thing from Replay this game was his willingness to roll in those positions earlier this stage, where he had MF pair, Bard pair. I mean, that's just textbook TFT. We have a ton of pairs we really want to roll here. Ooh, this is a weird choice. He would have loved something like a Gunblade in this spot. What do you make here? Round Guard Declaw, and then you have no item onto Zed. You could take the bow and go Renons, but then you're forced to make Spark. You can make Gwynsu, but then you're making a... I mean, I guess it is Gwynsu Declaw. No, he's going to go Renon Spark. I mean, or... Ooh, maybe the idea... Because, I mean, Renon's fantastic. Fantastic Zed item. The reason to not make Renons is because it leaves Spark open. But maybe the idea is, yeah, he's just going to greed this next cash out, hope that he gets some components, and then make these into better items. Wow. I like that a lot, because, I mean, Renons is the best item that you can build in this position, but the only downside is that you don't get to build the second item. Your second item sucks, but you're playing 5 Heartsteel. Like, it's very reasonable that you're going to get a cash out that's going to give you some components, and he's very, very healthy. He can stay in this 5 Heartsteel for a while. Eventually, we're going to look to cut some of these Heartsteel units, but I mean, it's Heartsteel Ezreal, so it's going to be a while until we actually transition out of this Ezreal. I mean, you guys have played the comp before. I mean, maybe you haven't played the comp before, maybe you guys have Honor, but you guys have seen the comp before, at least, surely. You guys know how this works. We're going to get some big cash outs. Eventually, potentially, we're going to pivot out of this Ezreal, and then, you know, we'll see what happens. And yeah, he's holding this Ezreal for the potential pivot, saying that, you know, like, eventually we might just sell this Ezreal, find a better Chosen, and maybe get in a replacement Ezreal. If we're Giga High rolling on 9, we'll pick up a 5-cost headliner, but it's, I don't know, not always going to happen. 37 HP, though. It's not the most secure. Losing that last fight is a little bit scary. I'm a bit surprised, honestly, that he's not healthier. Like, losing this fight as well down to 28. I mean, it's a great Heartsteel loss, but it's a scary, like, being alive loss here. We are going to get a lot of value out of that loss Heartsteel-wise here. Zed item here doesn't... I mean, it's GS. It's GS. GS, what am I talking about? Okay, yeah. Yes. Very good item, as we talked about in the last video. And we need a third Zed item. I mean, it's GS 10 times. Ooh, support anvil plus infinite gold. I mean, that's about as good of a cash out as you could ask for here. The support anvil is going to give you extra board strength. Ooh, what do you take here? And he is just going to end up building the Spark here. I mean, Zephyr this late into the game has to be a huge pickup, right? He gets to Zephyr. Ooh, he Zephyr'd for the other player, but didn't end up actually getting this kill. The upside is that Zed just walked to the back line, so I think we'll be fine here. But yeah, that support item is so good. It's going to spike our board enough to like make it easy for us to push 9, and the gold makes it really easy for us to go 9. So fantastic. I mean, that's one of the best cash outs we could ask for here. The other thing is that we actually don't really value items in this position. Because we already have 3 item Zed, 3 item Ezreal, and all these TGs. So it's actually really, really fortunate that we didn't get a bunch of components, because we would have just used them to make like set items, like who cares? But the Zephyr is actually like, it elevates our entire board here. Not only does it give stats to the entire team, but it also obviously is a Zephyr. So yeah, nothing wrong with that. Another dub here. This that cash out was so crucial. Losing those fights prior to the cash out honestly was really, really good. Now we're 28 HP, coasting to level 9. I have to imagine we're going to 6-1 it, not 6-2 it. I mean, if he's the greediest player of all time, we could 6-2 it, but I imagine we're just going to 6-1 it, just because, yeah, sacking 1 round is very, very greedy here, but we'll see. I mean, if he does it, he's a Giga Chad here. Item here, this is just going to be an item for set here. Yep, he's going to level here, roll. You can keep an eye on the slot in shop where you have it chosen, because you might actually hit something good over the Ezreal, but doesn't really seem much. Yeah, picks up the Alawi here, but he doesn't even have it on his board yet, actually. He's like trying to figure out what he wants to do on his board. Cheeses the Zephyr, which is fantastic here. And then he's actually going to go for the Gunblade onto Ziggs here. He moved the red buff over as well for potential Ziggs 2 later, and is holding onto a lot of these 5 costs. But yeah, I mean, he gets to keep a 5 Heartsteel in for this round here. Yorick 2, I would say, has got to get on the board here. Yeah, I can just go in over this. And then the question is, how do you fit Alawi? Normally people just play it. I mean, yeah, I guess you can do this. He really doesn't value the set late game, which is something we saw in the earlier video as well. I mean, it makes sense. You lose once again. Like, I'm pretty sure I did this exact same play in the last game, so I don't know why I'm expecting him to do anything different. You lose Mosher for the Yorick, but Mosher, it's not the end of the world. And the upside is you get to keep Zach on your board, who is like infinite synergies because he's EDM for your Zed, and it's also EDM for your Zed. So yeah, I think he just thinks that this is, you know, a lot higher value, which, I mean, it makes sense after thinking. Also, just the fact that Zach, after the nerfs to Zed, is just such a stronger unit than said, hey, what's that? Is that how many that was 6 poppies, right? Yeah, he's gonna mark Poppy here because he does not want that player to hit Poppy 3. And is this? I feel like I saw this game from someone else's POV, and I think they might have. Well, I don't know. We'll not. Oh yeah, it was Setsuko. Let's not spoil anything, but that is a lot of poppies here. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different game. That is a Lucian on Carousel. Sadly, we can't end up getting it here. That's a potential Shojin for our Ziggs here. Okay, he does the loop-de-loop around and then ends up picking up the Shojin. I'm down for it. And that's Sack too. Big upgrade there. And I mean, we're about as capped as we're going to get at this point. You can end up cutting Heartsteel by cutting the Yone and get this Kiana in. Once you get Kiana too, I'd say that's pretty straightforward here. He's looking for the Zephyr cheese. Puts it on the left side. Oh yeah, this Zephyr is beautiful. I think we watched this game live, now that I think about it, because I remember that Zephyr hit beautiful Zephyr from a replay there to hit Biribiri's Akali and win that fight. So now it's just Setsi and Re here. And Setsi is just looking for that final upgrade in the Poppy 3 to potentially win the lobby. We have this Lucian in shop, but it's actually quite awkward to fit it. Yeah, still only 7 poppies. He's a full 2 poppies off here. Setsi does pivot his board into this Caitlyn plus Jhin board. Does not yet have a Jhin 2, but this Poppy is just a menace with the, oh yes, this is the double Gargantuan Resolve Poppy. And honestly, he lost that fight even without the Poppy 3. If Poppy 3 happens, then it's just Jover. But maybe there's some way we can close it out. Yeah, he's gonna get the 3 Jazz in here. He says the Crowd Diver is not that important here, and he wants to look for potential to find a Lucian too. He rolls on minions to try to deny the Poppy. He does deny the Poppy here, but the question is, can we win the fight while also denying the Poppy? He's gonna take the GS. It's just GS in TFT these days, man. And he's gonna roll down here to try to pick up maybe a Lucian too. Can't find it. Needs to hit the perfect Zephyr here to have a shot at winning this fight. Does not hit it. Setsi swaps. Really nice. And I have to imagine, after how that last fight went, that without a really good Zephyr, we are gonna lose this fight. And yeah, it is gonna be a second from replay. Really cool game though. I mean, just very well played. AD flex line, slammed great items. Was really willing to slam items, rolled at the correct timings, hit good units, and played good TFT. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, check out my Twitch, and all my other links down below. Thanks for watching.